That's been here. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this and welcome to the Ready Bang, the number one arm wrestling podcast in the world. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and as always, I am the third place amateur Melbourne Cup left hand, 80 to 95 kilos place getter, probably one of the most prestigious awards in arm wrestling. And there's, you don't need an introduction, as you can see, my guest, but it's my show, so he always gets an introduction. He's been in the sport for 30 plus years. He's won, 34, 36 national titles, 18 world titles, including UAL, Arm Wars. He's won Vendetta matches. This guy at the moment is the WAL Super Heavyweight Hammer Holder Champion and arguably the most hated man in arm wrestling, and we all know why. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the Aussie Arm Wrestler has the monster, Michael Todd. Michael, how are you?
I'm blessed, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, it is unbelievable, and as always, it doesn't matter what's happening, I will always have a beer, literally, with the champ. Michael, thank you so much for coming on the show. How are you? What's been happening?
Man, the presidency, the election has been crazy here in the States. I thought we'd find out who our president was on Tuesday. We still don't know. I think there's a lot of shady shit going on. It's crazy, man. Outside of that, I've had a crazy 4 weeks. I guess it's about 5 weeks now because I'm about a week on the mend of just a variety of bad shit that's happened to my body. But, yeah, so about 5 weeks ago, injured my back. Didn't know what was going on. I thought it was my hip that popped out, so I kept trying to pop it in place for 2 weeks. Rebecca kept saying, listen, dude, go to the chiropractor. I'm like, no, hell no. The last time I went to chiropractor, the next day I tore my lat, and then 12 days later I tore my pec. I'm not going to chiropractor. So basically, anyone who would hand me a drug for 2 weeks, I took it. You know, hydros, morphine, methadone. I'm like, shit, I didn't even know what I was taking. I'm like, I will try it because I was hurting so bad. And after 2 weeks, that Sunday, I literally was like, dude, if this is the quality of my life, I'm getting my vet, I'm driving off a cliff. Screw this shit. This is horrible. So the next day, I went to the chiropractor. Turns out I had a slight pelvic rotation, and my sacrum on my left side and my L5 on my right was out. So he puts me back in. I'm like, oh, shit, I feel better. Well, about 24 hours later, it's out again. Because for 2 weeks, those muscles had got used to it being out. Well, so then I go back again on, I guess it was a Monday. I go back again on Wednesday. It's out again in 5 hours. I go back in on Thursday. I try to go back on Friday. So I'm icing it, E-stim, anything I can do. Well, that following Monday is when I drive out. I'm heading out to Juji and Tom's. And I'd already contacted James for a reason. I'm like, listen, dude, I'm messed up. Who's going to be at practice? Is anybody going to be in practice? Like, no, it's our local club. I'm like, all right, sweet. So I drive like 11 hours on Monday to go visit a buddy of mine north of Atlanta, hang out with him. I'm really competitive. We have some footage of this. I don't know if Rebecca's going to release on YouTube or if it's going to be on Instagram, but my buddy's got an amazing home. We're walking downstairs to the bottom floor. It's where our suite's at. And I walk past the ping pong table. I'm like, who's the ping pong player? He goes, oh, dude, I'm Forrest Gump. I'm like, hang on a minute. So I go put my shit down, and I've got boots on, like steel-toed boots, jeans, and we start playing. Now, his rules may be right, but I've never played. You know, apparently you have to serve from the right side to the left side. I thought that was only in doubles.
Only in doubles.
Left side to, huh?
That's only in doubles.
That's what I thought. I knew he was screwing me. So he wins the first game because he's telling me like 5 of my serves didn't count because I served the wrong way. Long story short, I win the next 2. He's like, okay, it's best out of 5 because he's never been beat in his house. And I'm pretty good. Like, I'm not great, but I'm pretty good. Like, I beat most people when I play ping pong. And so we're super aggressive. Needless to say, did not help my back situation out at all. Then we go over to the pool table, start playing pool. I beat him at pool. I'm like, dude, I was a short, fat kid growing up. I didn't have any friends, so I shot pool by myself a lot, you know. And he goes, well, now you tell me. And then we go play darts, and he kicks my ass in darts. Next day, I drive 5 hours to Tom and Juji. We do the workout, everything else, and I'm thinking, you know, this is going to get seen on Juji's channel. I got to go hard. I haven't done BFRs in 3 months. So I'm exhausted. By the time we get back to the hotel, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm glad it's just a local practice. And then I show up and Devon's there. I'm like, what? So that all turned out really good because those videos got huge following, huge views. We left that Tuesday morning, I think it was the 13th. We had 15,002 subscribers. And so today has been 24 days. And I think we're at 23,100 something. Yeah, so we've grown by like 8,100, 8,200 subs. So it's been a blessing. I'm so thankful for all the subscribers. So then I get home from that. My back's out again, right? And then all of a sudden, I start having pain in my ass. And I'm like, what's wrong with my ass? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's happening, right? I'm like, I'm getting old and falling apart. Well, I don't know what it is. And then I'm like, Rebecca, look at my ass. Tell me what's going on. You know? Turns out I got shingles.
Oh, no!
Oh, shit. I'm telling you, this is not a good thing to have. You know what I mean? So I'm on a steroid. I've been on a steroid pack for my back, steroid shots for my back. Now I'm on gabapentin nerve pain to try to get rid of the nerve pain that the shingles attached to. I'm on something else. I don't know what pill I was on there. Well, then Travis calls me about going down to that. My stepson gets married. Ryan gets married. I'm walking around at the wedding rehearsal the night before. I can barely move. My wife's like, listen, you're going to have to straighten up. My man's a man. You can't be walking around like you're about to die. I'm like, but I'm about to die. You know what I'm saying? I know this has nothing to do with arm wrestling, but you did ask how we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So then we drive to that Texas thing. Now, I have shingles on my ass, and I sit in a car for 13 hours round trip. It's horrible. Now, during this whole time, I'm having a whole nother pain that I don't want to describe. But it turns out I go to the doctor on Monday and I got a bladder infection.
Oh, no.
So every time I piss, it's the most painful experience in the world. You know what I mean? So I just finished my last antibiotic yesterday. I had to take some blue pill for urinary pain that turns your urine blue. Dude, those 4 weeks were rough. I had a rough 4 weeks. So needless to say, I wasn't able to train very much. So we started back Monday. I'd watched the CrossFit 2020 games the weekend my son got married. I've been watching it the last week or so. I've been laid up in bed. And it inspired me. So I thought, well, cool. Let's start doing some CrossFit. I mean, it's kind of off season, right? I'm still going to do all my hand, wrist, and forearm work, all my arm wrestling, my cable pulls, my rope pulling, all the things that I do. But instead of doing my chest workout, my shoulder workout, my leg, I'm just going to do CrossFit workouts every day. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. I am in the worst condition I've ever been in my adult life. I've almost died 4 days in a row. So,
oh my God. Only on this podcast we hear the heavyweight champ say he's got a pissing problem and something is wrong with his ass. This is magnificent. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow. I just loved that not only are you the heavyweight champ in arm wrestling, but if there's a pool table, a table tennis table, you're the heavyweight champ in getting sick. Like anything you do, oh, cool, you've got a cough? Well, you know what? I got shingles. I can't piss, so I'll beat you in that as well.
I'm extremely competitive. I'm the guy that if you and I are hanging out and there's a basketball and you shoot 3 times and I shoot 3 times, we have to start a game. It's either 1-on-1 or we're playing 21, but we have to keep score. I don't know how to do things just for fun.
Yeah.
There is a winner and there is a loser. And I choose to be the winner. You know what I'm saying? I hate it. Yeah.
People of America, this is your new president. This man right here. Vote Michael Todd, because there's a winner and a loser. There's no sixth place medal. There's no good stuff and a participation award. This is your president. That is fantastic. And what makes it even more impressive is straight away I was going to go into that Devon practice that you guys had. Now, if your body's shutting down and you were still managed to do that and the workouts that you've got on your channel, that's even more impressive. Because, sometimes I don't sit on the couch properly.
Devon is a bad dude. He's a bad dude. But when Corey and I talked, he goes, listen, if he can't beat you now, he will never beat you. You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, dude, you're the most wrecked I've ever seen you. You know what I'm saying? Me and Corey have become very, very good friends. And we really do. He has helped. People talk about how I've helped him. That young man has helped me more than anyone in my 31st year of competing. He has helped me more than anyone in my entire career, because it has someone who has greater potential than who pushes me. I don't get pushed very often. The majority of my career, I've never had a team. I never had a club. When I started in 1990 as wrist wrestling for a couple years. I got into ArmWrestling 92. I moved to Baton Rouge to go train with Robert Redden, Craig Tully, all that. Robert Redden was the guy back then. And we would arm wrestle 500 matches to 1,000 matches a night, 3 days a week. And everyone would leave, and I would not leave until Robert Redden had smashed me in a hook 100 times. Like, I would hit him as hard as I could. Wham! You gotta give 99 more, motherfucker. And I boom! Man! Every day, that's how I arm wrestled. But that was only for a couple of year period, right? 6 months here, I moved back to Arkansas. 6 months again in 90. I moved back and forth. But other than that, I never had a team. I've always been self-motivated. I've always had to go in the gym and motivate myself and inspire myself to do better than I did last week. Well, insert Corey 20 months ago, and I had someone who was too naive to know that he wasn't supposed to be able to do what I was doing. Like, in the first month, he couldn't do my workouts with my maintenance weights. Yeah. Once he got conditioned to do the maintenance weights, he's like, well, let's just go up, because I started peaking. So he would just go with me. And then I would hit a peak, which is what was my previous best when I was preparing for push car. And then the next week, he's like, well, let's go up 10 more pounds. I'm like, well, I've never done that before, but whatever, let's do it. So he took me from what was my previous peak and got me, say I was 220 pounds on exercise. He pushed me to do 260, weights I'd never used before, under the same conditions, because he didn't know we weren't supposed to be doing it. So as he has leveled up, it has allowed me to level up as well. So no one has ever been such a positive influence on me in my career as he has.
Man, that is so cool. That is so cool. Because I've seen Corey popping up recently, and obviously due a lot more to you parading him. But he looks like a bad dude. He looks like he's ready to just explode on the scene now. You see him pop up in tournaments from time to time. And out of nowhere, he's pinning some big guys, some big dudes.
He pulls tomorrow. He will pull right-handed. Who's he pulling? Nick Zena. He's pulling Nick Zena right-handed. He was scheduled to pull Bryce Touton left-handed, which was somebody he pulled at my Monster McIntyre Classic last year, and he beat Bryce convincingly. So that match has been set up for a long time. Well, he got a phone call, or not a phone call, he got a message from Cody Merritt saying, hey, I'm coming into this tournament just to pull you. I hope your match with Cody doesn't take too much out of you. Now, I don't know if this is information I'm supposed to put out. I don't know when you're releasing this.
Yeah.
Is this live?
No, it's not live. It's not live.
Okay, yeah. So, Cody and Corey contacted Bryce, and they've decided to do a 3-person round robin.
Ah.
And they have decided to let Bryce get the first round bye. So instead of Corey pulling Bryce Touton, he gets to pull fresh against Cody Merritt. Cody Merritt's currently ranked number 5 in North America. Cody Merritt thrashed Corey 3-0 12 to 14 months ago. I'm telling you, Corey has progressed significantly. And if Cody has not, it's going to be a bad day.
Wow.
But I don't know. Cody might still beat him. I'm just saying. Corey West right now is a handful. And then 4 weeks after that, He pulls Robbie Barnett right-handed. Robbie's ranked number 7 in North America. Corey's ranked number 8. And he pulls Dave Chafee left-handed, who's ranked number 3 in North America. So he's moving up quick. What's cool about that, and I'll let you get back to asking questions, is the top 10 in North America right-handed. I'm number 1. Corey's number 8. If you look through that list, we're the only 2 people who train together. And we're both in the top 10. So that just proves how much we have both gained from training together. It has been an awesome experience, and I'm so proud of that young man.
Man, it is scary if the heavyweight champ can get even better and he's got a protege that's ignited more fire underneath. I think Corey being number 8, I think that won't last very long. I think he'll be bumping up. That's for sure. That's unbelievable.
Tim Bresnan so bad. Tim Bresnan's ranked 6th. I want to see him pull Tim Bresnan so bad because I really genuinely I don't think Tim can take Corey's wrist. And if it goes inside and the match stops, Corey's a very patient and mature arm wrestler for someone who's only been in the sport for 4 years.
Only 4 years? Wow.
Yeah, he started in 2016.
Wow. Yeah, on the table from the minimum, I say he just looks like he's been pulling for years and years and years. Only 4 years. Oh, I am glad I'm losing weight because I don't want to be in that super heavyweight division pulling bad dudes like that. That is fantastic. So then going back to that where you and Devon just injected some life into the arm wrestling world that we needed. Did you know he was turning up?
No idea. Like absolutely zero clue that he was coming. He talked to me. I talked to him the night before because I saw that he was in the United States. I'm like, dude, are y'all trying to sandbag me? I'm like, because I'm going out here to try to build my channel so people don't think I'm an asshole and they can see a different side of me outside of competition. Y'all aren't trying some shady shit. He goes, no, man, no, I didn't even know. Now, I do have some inside information that I will not share because it'll probably make me look like an asshole. But I was definitely set up. You know what I'm saying? I was 100% set up. But it's all good, man. Like I said, we had it was better for what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
The match was great. Great times. Got to chat with Devon. Always love hanging out with Devon. But the next day, us doing that leg workout together, us doing the revolving ladder challenge on my channel, it lets people see that we are friends and we are supportive of one another. And that's what arm wrestling is. It's a family reunion, get together arm wrestling. Social media has made it, heroes and villains and, rivalries. And we're extremely competitive.
Yeah.
Like, Devon told me he's going to try to make it back down to the States and wants to spend a couple of days. I am walking around my 6 acres and my gym thinking of all the cool challenges we could do. I got a 14-foot pipe outside that's got 2 sides. I'm like, you get on one, I get another. Somebody say go. First one to the top wins. No, can't use your feet. Let's just start climbing. That shit will be hilarious because we will go all out for a freaking pipe climb. You know what I'm saying? He is too competitive and I'm too competitive, and I just think we can get some amazing content. People are like, would you be willing to go on the road across America with Devon? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That would be spectacular, So I'm excited about where things are going. I'm glad that he showed up. Yeah. I definitely was not capable of pulling another round. that was all you were getting out of me, buddy.
Even when you guys were...
If they would have just told me, hey, Devon's going to be here. Don't do arms today. We'll do the arm workout video tomorrow. Let's do legs today. What it was, I don't know what it was. But, under different circumstances, if Devon shows up, we're pulling all night long.
Yeah.
We can pull until the time he gets here, until we pass out on the table. I'm cool with it. But those circumstances were not ideal. You know what I mean? So I was like, you're getting one shot, buddy,
It looked like an old school 80s gang movie, and you're like the gang leader and they just turned on you. They were just like, we've had enough of you. It was just like, you're there practicing and you had to double check, and it was like, oh no, and then suddenly someone knifes you in the back and they put a bag over your head and take you away. It was unbelievable to see.
It felt just like that.
And I think, and my favourite bit, not only it was just awesome to see the two best go at it. But as you were saying, whether it's your channel or Devon's channel, you guys speak for about 20 minutes straight out the front. And I think that was my favourite bit because you, in that 2 minutes where you and Devon are pulling, you just look like you don't want to be there. You look real pissed off that this has happened. But then when you guys are chatting afterwards, it just shows the complete 180 side that a lot of the internet need to see about you. And it was fantastic. I recommend anyone to go check out the conversation after the pull. For me, was more interesting than the actual pull.
That's cool to hear. Yeah. And that's the thing is, so obviously in North America, Devon and I are rivals. What I would love to see happen, and what I think a lot of people would enjoy seeing, would be an East versus West, right? The best top 4 or 5 from the U.S. and Canada go against the best 4 or 5 from Eastern Europe and Asia or whatever, right? And to see us kind of like being an Ultimate Fighter house and we get to train together, could you imagine Devon, Dave, Jerry, an informed Travis, all of us just training together? Dude.
Mate, that is my...
The outtakes alone would be gold. You know what I'm saying? Because Travis is a fool. He acts crazy as shit. So anything he's in would be hilarious.
I am screaming for that type of reality show. I think for arm wrestling to be on the national stage, we need 100% exactly that Ultimate Fighter. Everyone live in a house, feed them booze and an arm wrestling table, and then you have, matches and eliminations. That would, and then when people just see how awesome and how funny the arm wrestling community actually is.
You have to have characters. And right now, you see 2 people arm wrestling. Devon has a huge following because he had a lot of great opportunities. Being there at the same place, same time when the Mountain was. 20+ million views. Give me the Arm Wrestle Shack. 10, 20 million views. Collabing with Juji and Tom and all the things he's done since then has created an overwhelming support for Devon Laird. And they love who he is. But there are other characters in the sport that if you would let us, our character shine, let people find out why you should cheer for us. Arm wrestling is not going to grow just by putting arm wrestling on TV. Yeah. You got to develop characters. I need to know why I need to cheer for Corey West or Michael Todd or Travis Major or Dave Chafee. Dave Chafee's this prison guard and he loves his wife and his kid. And what is it about that dude that, makes me want to, so there's just so many things that if we could show that side of us as just regular people, human beings who are passionate about what we do, I believe that's what breaks through to mainstream appeal. But yeah, so many of those things, like I couldn't do any of that unless my wife could be there because I don't want to have any life experiences without her. We were talking about that briefly. I mean, literally, Rebecca is my rock. She's the thing I'm most proud of. My biggest accomplishment is getting her to say I do. It's not the 21 world titles and 36 national titles, right? I tricked her. But you know what I mean? I don't want to see a sunset without her. I don't want to go on a drive in my car and see the leaves change without her having there. I don't want to hear a joke without hearing her laugh. And a lot of people think that's crazy. And people are like, oh, that's so weird. You don't want to go do guy stuff? No, my best friend is my wife. That's who I want to do shit with, So people just don't understand it because it's not common. We live in a society where people are separated and they do things apart and they're forced to have two income households, whatever, and you become separate. You're on your phone while you're out to dinner. You're on your phone. You're not paying attention to one another. Tomorrow, we're turning our phones off, taking the Corvette, going for a ride up through the mountains. You have to have that time. If you don't take that time, you're just existing. You're not living, in my opinion. We're not promised tomorrow, so make the most out of the day. That's how I live every day.
There it is. Give him 4 years. Give him 4 years. Give him 4 years. And you just, on so many levels, you're right, when it comes to investing in characters for arm wrestling. We spoke before the show started about your love of your wife, which I absolutely love. Every show I somehow mention my wife and even the support at the moment. She's asleep upstairs, because of our time difference, but she doesn't care. It's like, here you go, talk to the heavyweight champ. That's not a problem. I'm just going to stay in bed. But I love you. But I think, I'm the same. Any time I can get a chance to hang out and spend some time with my wife, I'm absolutely the same. And I think more people, when they see that from you and just that last 2 minute spiel that you have, and when people see this, I think they'll just realise that you're actually, off the table. Like, we can all make a million jokes about the King's move, which I'll do later, but you're just like this cool dude and respectful towards everything. You love everyone. You're giving someone like me a chance just to come on the show and have a laugh with. So I think that's, it's just, I really liked you, and now, if I was American, you would be my president, 100%. You've got it going. I love it. So then, just one last thing on that Devon practice. Did Steve Kaplan or Jamie call you guys and say,
They said they loved it. They said they loved it.
Did.
I don't think they can afford that match now. We created so much hype around that rematch. Half the people are like, oh, Devon had hand control. Half the people are like, Michael just did a crazy arm workout. Are you people crazy? I mean, there's more hype now about that match than there was, a month ago, 2 months ago. People are, they fell in love with it. They would have liked it if we'd have done best of 5. They wouldn't have been a fan of that. But they liked the one teaser match,
Absolutely. You've definitely just flirted with the world of arm wrestling. That was unreal. And now, from there to build more hype stuff, you're heading to Dubai soon.
Dude, we're so excited. We've been to Kuwait City 6 years ago to do some different events at some universities, and we've wanted to go to Dubai at least ever since then, if not before. And the funny thing about that Devon match, within a few hours of that being released on the internet or on YouTube, whatever, Larry Wills messaged me on Instagram, hey, I would love to bring you to Dubai. I'm like, I would love to come to Dubai. I mean, that was a pretty simple negotiation.
That's amazing. So when do you go? How long are you there for?
So from the time we depart, we leave and we come back 7 days later. It's just we leave in the evening and then we don't arrive until, I guess, because of the time differences, it ends up being we leave on a Saturday and midnight 05, so 12:05 in the morning on Monday mornings when we actually arrive at the airport. But technically, it's only 23 hours, I think, because the time difference, right? I think we leave at 5:20 our time, so I don't know what time that is, but it ends up being 22 hours. We go to Atlanta, then Netherlands, and then Dubai.
Oh, the
Netherlands. We get
That's
back
cool.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll be exhausted. I mean, I don't know how tired we'll be. We'll probably be pretty tired when we arrive on Monday, so I figure get to the hotel 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, sleep till 10 or so, and then start filming. I mean, I was like, I'm sure y'all gonna have several ideas to film. There's a couple things I want to do as well, but I know we won't be filming all the time. Can I go on a camel ride? I'm trying to, check this out, dude. I've never been on a camel. He's like, dude, you can go safari. You can go dune buggies in the desert. We're just excited. It's a blessing to us to have this opportunity. Obviously, it's going to be great to work with Larry and the college guy and everyone else that's over there. It's going to be great for our channel. I would love for us to get to a point to where this is what we did full time. We have a goal to have a wrapped RV with our brand, our YouTube channel, everything on it, and travel the United States and use Devon's Armband app and just, pull over in different towns. Like I'm subject to do this and pull over in a small town at the Lowe's parking lot, pull out the table and just start arm wrestling people like, hey, who's a champ? Call him up, get him over here. And just film our own little reality TV show.
Yeah.
Just go on the road nonstop, hitting up practices, hitting up tournaments, pulling local people, local champs, doing eating challenges because I love food. Just film our life. Because the funniest shit that we do is when the camera's not running.
Yeah.
Rebecca and I have a wonderful time. We laugh constantly. Just like yesterday when we did the live with Corey. Before we went live, that was when all the funny shit was happening. But we have a good time, man. And to me, that would be a blessing. Outside of us winning the lottery, which is plan A, outside of us winning the lottery, finding a way to support and fund a national campaign, road trip, whatever, building our YouTube, helping the brands that partner with us help build their brands as well, and just enjoy life. Like I said, everything to me is enjoying today. Just make sure that today is a good day, and tomorrow will happen however it happens.
Oh, that would be unreal. And even one of your latest videos, you pull bikies and that in a bar, and I thought that was entertaining in itself. I would love, for you to just travel anywhere, and I'd love you to turn up to old people's homes, and you get them to arm wrestle the champ. Like the possibilities are just endless with that if you're able to.
As soon as we get through COVID, I'm doing all that shit.
Yeah.
As soon as we get past COVID, I'm arm wrestling everyone. You know what I'm saying?
And for those who are watching, if you have not subscribed, I'll put all the links and make sure it's showing. If you have not subscribed to this man's channel, absolutely jump on straight away. And I think because if Rebecca comes with you, I think what will make it even more interesting, because Rebecca's no slouch on the table. She's a 6-time national champion in her own right. So
she's actually won 7.
Seven. Sorry, Rebecca. Sorry. I know you're a big fan of the show. Sorry, 7. And so she'll be pinning everyone left, right, and centre. The champ doesn't marry a slouch. That's for sure. Now, going with the double personality, I want to go to your 2 massive WAML matches with the Tugboat, Jerry Cataract.
There you go.
So in the 400 series, you pull a 7-minute match. A 7-minute match. And I think you two were breathing so heavily. I think the first row passed out. You were sucking in that much air, especially Jerry. What is the thought process? I mean, obviously, ready, bang, and you're off. And it's usually, 30, 40 seconds at the most with yourself. What is the thought process in a 7-minute match?
Well, it's don't give up. You know what I'm saying? It starts off going, hey, why don't you call those damn elbow fouls? The devil's in the center of the table. Why is this match taking so long? He's had 18 fouls already. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening. But once you realize that, hey, this thing's a free-for-all, you hold on for dear life. Now, that match is where I incurred my first injury. About a minute and a half into that match is where my metacarpal fractures in my hand. That small strap was not conducive to an all-out outside move with the inside move. The pressure right on here, it fractured that bone. And I was not able to, I had everything I wanted, but I couldn't transition because every time I'd go, it had this paralyzing pain. So that's when I'm talking to Rebecca. I'm like, something's wrong with my hand, And he pins me. I don't know if it was a parallel pin or whatever, but he'd already had the foul, so they have to restart it. And then he calls an early. I definitely think it was an early pin, but either way, I would have had a hard time. Now round 3, I had everything again, couldn't get it. He ends up fouling out. He comes way across the center. Round 4, I catch a foul for taking my hand off, wiping the sweat out of my eyes because I put it back down. I think he got a foul. I had a foul. It was like 2-2, and then I false started. So he won round 4 by me fouling out with a false start. And I'm like, all right, dude. I was pissed. Because I had lost to Jerry in a decade. I had lost to him in a decade prior to that match. So I did overlook Jerry. I expected it to be a 2-minute match where I transitioned around and got my shoulder behind it and pinned him. Once that injury occurred, I could not do the transition that I needed to do. I never was able to. I never got the pin. And here's the deal. When I transition behind you and I pin you and I lose my shit with the celebration, the next round you're facing a different person.
Yeah.
There's a different dude across the table from you. And if you can foul out and keep me from getting that, because I'm not going to celebrate because you fouled out, I got to push through your power and pin you, and then I lose my mind. Well, by that happening, me not getting to do that, it takes a little steam off what I'm capable of, I believe. But yeah, so he was the victor. He'd already lost to Devon the month before. I beat Marcio. Devon beat Matt Mass. They wanted to see me and Devon in the finals. He was the champ in the heavyweight division from the year before. I was the champ in the super heavyweight division. They got rid of his division. So in 2018, it was like a unification match.
Yeah.
I came out on top. 2019, people want to see me and Jerry again. It was supposed to be me and Devon. They wanted a rematch with me and Devon because Devon is the most popular. He had the most fans. They thought he'd get the most views. Devon claimed he had an injury. I have a different story, but we're going to go with he had an injury. So, obviously Devon has to be on the card. So they introduced left-handed versus him versus Wagner. And it's me and Jerry again. And I honestly had told Rebecca, I'm going to smack him 3-0. Don't worry about it, baby. I'm going to kill this dude. Round one, slip, feel great, go to the strap, bam, he flashes me. I'm like, how the hell did that happen? No one flashes me. I don't get flashed. And he flashed me round one in 2018. He flashed me round one in 2019. Round two, I take hand control. I creep up behind it. I'm in great position. I'm bleeding this dude. I'm smiling at him. And then I realized I have the same injury again.
Oh!
The same nerve pain. Everything's happening. I'm like, oh, shit. I can't finish this dude. So here we go. 4 minutes and 50 seconds of this 330-pound guy just hitting on my arm. Fortunately, he elbow fouled to the front, and then I was able to pec deck sideways and just go through the pain of that nerve, or the pain in my hand to get the pin. I walked up to the side. I said, I don't think it's broke, but I have the same injury again. Round three, boom. I felt like I'm in great position. I'm just working to carve back in, come back out, carve back in. He hits down. I believe my forearm touched. I don't think my wrist and my fingertips touched. But Bart calls the win. Okay, great. Round four, we go again. Another 3-minute long match or whatever it was. And he catches a foul. He catches another foul. He flagrantly pushes off the pad. And it is enough to push my elbow off. But I keep pulling. Bart stops the match. And then I hit on go. He fouls on go. So I win on that one. So at this point, this is a tremendous war between two people who are unwilling to quit. So I don't know why people's perception changed in round five. Round five, it is not my fault that there is no rule if the strap comes off. Not my fault. Those are the rules, right? So I continued to arm wrestle under those rules. Jerry continued to complain to the ref about the strap. And he chooses, after having 175 fouls that weren't called, he chooses to lift his elbow a foot off the pad, holds it in the air, takes his hand off the hand peg, and condenses to talking to Bart. So I knew he did it the round before, so I just kept my elbow down. As long as my elbow's on the pad and he doesn't put his elbow back, foul 2, foul 3, winner. There's a big difference in that match between my show money and my win money.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how much, exact amounts, but I got X amount of money to show, and I got 3 times that amount extra to win. When I took the match, I counted that money. I was going to pay my bills. I think you froze up. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I counted that shit. Like, I'm thinking, okay, October's bills are paid, November's bills are paid, December's bills are paid. Boom, right. So when he forfeits the match by quitting the match, I'm like, fuck that. We're not doing this again. Now, if like Robert Drink would have been like, yeah, man, all right, Michael, you're the champ. Here's your hammer. But I want to see how this goes. Here's another 5,000. Y'all pull one more time. Hell yes, I would have pulled again. But there's no way I'm putting my family's financial stability on the line because the fans want to see another match. Sorry, guys. Not happening.
Pay the man.
Maybe your guy shouldn't have quit. Maybe he shouldn't have quit. How about you quit calling me the coward and me the quitter and actually take the guy who quit? Motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? This dude quit. But, yeah, Jerry's a great dude. But his claims to being the champ are vastly exaggerated. And he won't beat me. I mean, he's not going to beat me. He thinks he's going to beat me. He's not going to beat me. So, that's that.
So, with that, because you copped a lot of hate. A lot of hate.
I lost 1,500 subscribers that weekend.
No.
From that day till that Sunday, I lost 1,500 subs. Rebecca and we almost quit YouTube because I was like, well, fuck, it's going backwards.
Wow, that's... You 1,500 people, I hope you are eating humble pie and you've jumped back on. That, man, that would have been terrible if you quit YouTube. So then you've obviously watched it all. A couple of things. One, would you have changed the way you reacted after the match?
No, because I was never going to leave. I'm not going anywhere without my wife. I thought that shit would be funny. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, no one thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, I'm going to grab my hammer and walk off. And this is because they tell you, be yourself, but just be the biggest version of yourself. Had Devon taken the hammer and walked off, people were like, oh my God, Devon's so cool. Devon's amazing. But if Michael Todd doesn't, I'm somehow an asshole. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was 100% under the impression that people realized that I'm obviously not leaving. That wasn't even my hammer. That was a prop hammer. You know what I'm saying? My wife is still in my corner. I'm not leaving without my wife.
That's a prop hammer. Yeah, because it's funny.
Yeah, they have a hammer at every event that's just the hammer.
Yeah.
They make you and ship you your hammer now.
Okay, that's cool.
I don't take that hammer with me. You know, I mean, I guess the fans didn't know that.
No, because
people don't know me on a personal level that I'm not going anywhere without my wife.
Yeah, you're there holding it, and you're like, it's mine, I've won, it's mine, I'm not going anywhere. That's cool, and I'm glad you wouldn't change the way that you reacted afterwards. It was interesting. I mean, I remember watching it, and I was just like, oh my God, he's putting his feet down, he's not going anywhere. I thought that was fantastic. Thought, why not? It's an interesting thing. So then the other thing, two other things, like what I love to know what's going on during Champions Heads during the match. What were you thinking when it just looked like a broken shoelace and you're kind of pulling and your hands weren't really touching and the strap's about to come off? Like, what were you thinking during that?
I hope Jerry quits. That's what I was thinking, because this sucks. You know what I'm saying? I mean... wasn't a lot else. I was like, dude, can you please quit? Because I'm tired and I want to go home. I got to eat. You know what I'm saying? I get nervous stomach before these things. I haven't eaten since noon. Quit so I can go have some pizza. That's pretty much what I was thinking. You know?
Have some pizza.
But yeah, I mean, in a match like that, I'm in the thing unless you break my arm. Yeah. Like, there are arm wrestlers, and that's fine. You can arm wrestle however you want. But there are arm wrestlers who are like, oh, you got me.
Yeah.
I am not that arm wrestler. You know what I'm saying? The only time you'll ever see me do that is if you get me all the way to my arm is straight, and I'm in an arm bar, and I have to let up. Of course, you're going to break my arm. Like, you're going to break my elbow. But if it's here, or I'm twisted, or I'm whatever, and I'm in the match, that thing's going to have to come loose, because I'm not giving up. I mean, I've said it for years. My disgust for losing will outweigh your desire to win. Because the thrill of victory is great, but Rebecca gives me like a week or two to act like I'm the shit walking around the house. And then she's like, all right, motherfucker, it's back to normal. You know, it's just arm wrestling. You know, and then, but that loss eats away at you. Yeah. And I hate the way that loss feels. So when someone's like, you're arm wrestling Levon, you're arm wrestling so-and-so, how are you going to prepare? Or what do you think about Levon's training? I'm like, I don't care how anyone that I'm facing is training, because I cannot waste my energy worrying about what they're doing. The only thing I have control over is what sacrifices I'm willing to make. How hard am I willing to work? And if I put everything I can into my training, my nutrition, my sleep, my recovery, and on that day, I'm the very best version of me, win or lose, I'm happy.
That's fantastic. That's unreal. And that's the way the heavyweight champ should be thinking. You know, you're not just going to lay down for anyone. Oh, yeah, you can just have that pin. I'll get you next time. No, your arm's got to be amputated if you want to take the hammer off me. And I think that's unbelievable. Now, before we go into break arms and King's move, just one last thing with that controversial finish. What I found it hilarious, obviously, because I wasn't in the moment. But you've got Bart and you've got Neil, you know, WAL officials, and they're watching the replay. And then over comes Devon. And he's pointing. And he's saying, doing this, doing that. What were you thinking when just like another competitor, and it's Devon, and he was always going to do it. But when someone who wasn't an official looking at the replay just pops over and goes, oh, hey guys, this should have happened.
Anyone could have went over there and tried to tell them what to do, and I was standing firm. The rules are the rules. I win. I didn't care. It didn't faze me that Devon was talking to him.
Okay.
I didn't think about the fact that Devon was talking to him. I just knew that this match was over, and unless you paid me more money, I'm not doing it again. So as soon as the match ended, I knew I was in the right, so I didn't care. And people can hate me or love me, whatever, for that, but that's just me at my core. I'm a right and wrong dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just, these are the rules. I think my 10:30 client just got here. So how many more questions do we have? I'm sorry, because I talked so long about my ass pain. So
no, that's all right. I'll ask you one more thing, and then we'll wrap it up because I appreciate your time. We have games, but don't worry. I just want to. I'll just quickly get you to talk about basically being arguably the most hated man in arm wrestling. I have a lot of fun with what I do, and everyone laughs and comments. But as soon as I call a Michael Todd match, the discussion happens about the King's move. He's ruining arm wrestling. He's always hiding under the table and things like that. How do you deal with all that? Like, you try and post videos and have a bit of fun and show people your side, but then everyone just always comes back to that. Me personally, I do not mind the King's move because it's in the rules. Doesn't look great. It doesn't look the best. We can't all be in a hook all the time. But yeah, so how do you deal with all that?
Not well. I mean, not well at all. I have never arm wrestled as ugly as Devon Larratt did right into last season. In my entire arm wrestling career, I have never arm wrestled that ugly in my life. But he gets praised for it while I get criticized. It's extremely hurtful. I feel like I'm being cyber-bullied on a daily basis.
Oh, 100%.
Because you can get behind your computer and say anything you want, and I have no recourse. Like, I can't go kick your door in and beat the shit out of you because I don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I can't do it to everybody. I'm a guy who wears his emotions on his sleeve. So you can talk about the King's move, you can hate the King's move, but as soon as you call me a coward or this or that, yeah, I'm just like, how could I've done more I've given my body to this sport. How in the world could anyone possibly call me a coward? How could you call me anything with a negative connotation when I've accomplished as much or more than anyone who's ever arm wrestled? I mean, I'm the only guy who's won the world championship of every major league. Now, I haven't accomplished what John Baaaanng had and stuff like that because his career will never be matched. But I literally have won the world championship of every major league. NAL, PAL, WAL, UAL, Arm Wars. I have all those world titles in this shit, and I've given my body to those matches. I've had wars where 99.9% of the elite level arm wrestlers would have given up, and I would refuse to quit, and I kept going. I've entertained arm wrestlers for years. So just because you're new to the sport of arm wrestling and you know me because of the King's move, like I said, it's very hurtful. I hate it.
Yeah.
I want to win the lottery and fucking buy 1,000 acres and never talk to anybody again. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just, people don't realize that your words hurt. Would you want someone to say that shit about your family member or your loved one or something like that? Hell no. So, but it's okay to say it about me, So I don't have an answer other than the fact that yes, it hurts. What can I do about it? I have nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
People are like, just don't read your comments. Don't read the comments. Well, I respond to my comments. I'm the guy, now when I get to 1 million subs, I probably can't respond to all the comments. But I try to respond now. And I can go on my feed and used to get a lot of hate, and now 90% of it's love. But if I go on Devon's Facebook, 95% of it's hate, and 5% of it is he's not a bad guy. There's still no love, but 95% of it's hate. And I don't know. How would you act? How would you respond? Maybe it doesn't affect you. There's a lot of personalities who it doesn't affect. Travis Bajan, I don't think gives a shit.
Yeah,
but for me, it hurts. So I would prefer everyone to say Michael Todd is awesome, and I really like that guy. So if you guys were watching, would type that shit in my comments, I would be much happier. You know what I'm saying?
I will pin that quote in these comments. Michael Todd is awesome, and I'm flying the flag for you. You're the new president of the United States. And guys, you don't understand, like, This is the heavyweight champion of the world. You can say what you want behind the keyboard, but if he doesn't reply to the comments, I haven't just spent the last 45 minutes talking to the heavyweight champ, and I'm in Melbourne, Australia. So, yeah, like, you can hate the King's move, that's fine. Don't hate the man. If I could just pass anything on to anyone watching this, hate the King's move, don't hate the man. I mean, look, he just talked about how much it hurts to piss and shit on my show. Don't hate the man. And just quickly, you've got your client at your door. I'll get you to nominate someone to come on the show who you think would have a lot of laughs and fun on the show.
I like Daniel Mosier a lot.
Yeah, we've been speaking a bit. Yeah, hot sauce.
Yeah, Daniel's a good young man, and I think he's vastly underestimated. I think he's a very strong 200-pound, possibly the best in North America.
He's certainly up there. He certainly impressed in Zloty last year. He was phenomenal over there.
He is not the same person that he was then, in my opinion.
Wow, if he's gotten stronger than second place in Zloty, yeah, he is fantastic. And then the last thing, obviously my catchphrase is, ready, bang! I need to hear the heavyweight champion's best impression.
I'll do my best. Ready, bang!
Yes! Guys, I'll just wrap it up as quick as I can. The heavyweight champion, Michael Todd, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you taking the time. You've been so busy, let alone just responding to one of my comments. The fact that you've come on the show and spoken to me, man, I appreciate what you do for the sport. Now I appreciate you even more for helping me out. Guys, I'll put the links and everything. Go, after you subscribe to my show, of course, go and subscribe and support Michael Todd. Hate the King's move, but don't hate the man. When you watch this, you'll just see how much fun and sinister smile the guys had. Michael Todd, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the support, man.
Thank you.